do you follow up with people and create relationships with them without bugging them? Well, you're going to look for the spark. More on that in this episode. Hit subscribe for weekly videos to grow your consulting business, and click the bell for notification of future episodes. Today, I am answering a question from a viewer, and I'm so excited about it. Let me read it. How to follow up with and create relationships with people I consult in the course of my work or after a conference, etc. How to stay in touch by creating value rather than feeling like I'm bugging them or I'm not ready to say something that will fascinate them. I love the idea of fascinating them. And brava for realizing it's about creating relationships. So how do we do that? I'm going to share with you today how it's traditionally taught to do follow-up and why I think that might feel gross and not aligned for you, how I teach to do it instead and what is really working for me and for my clients. And then you're going to want to stay to the end because I'm going to give you a question that is going to fast track this whole process for you in opening up and creating relationships with these contacts. So first of all, how do people usually teach follow-up? There's this academic process. You're going to take these 100 contacts, you're going to load them in your CRM, send out this many messages, like 7 messages over 5 touches and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. That's great. Definitely works. It's a cool thing, and it's not the thing that is going to align with you and how you work. Probably. A lot of people want some sort of scientific and like a specific process for follow-up. And I've shared this in past episodes. I shared this in an episode called Schrodinger's Client, How to Follow Up with Potential Clients. So definitely check that one out. I've got a lot more specific information about the follow-up process. But today I want to talk about what's really at the essence of it. And this creating relationships, that's the core piece of it. You don't want to just follow up with anybody. And the thing I want to give you permission to do is to throw out most of the contacts you have. When you meet someone at a conference and you come out of there with a stack of business cards, or when you have some past clients you've worked with, if there's any of them where you're like, okay, I mean, there may be more work in there, but it wasn't the funnest thing ever, get rid of them. That is not a person or a company that is aligned with you. That work is not aligned with you. You never have to follow up with anybody that you don't feel, and this is what I'm going to get into, a spark with. What's a spark? It means that when you meet them or you work with them or you have some sort of interaction with them, you feel this like spark of recognition, a spark of connection, this feeling of like, oh, you're my people. You're somebody like me. And that may be another woman. It can be someone from your part of the country. It can be culturally someone who's like you. In general, it's like a person who could be my client or my colleague who is a natural part of my world that I feel like a shared connection with. Give yourself permission to only connect with people like that. The world has 7 or 8 billion people in it, and there's a small portion of them that are your people, that are my people. So only connect with those. When you stop trying to follow up and connect with and create relationships with not your people, you're going to find so much time and energy opens up, and life is going to be delightful. So that's the first thing that you're going to do. Focus on people you have a spark with. Second thing that I want you to know is rest assured you know how to do this. Like you know how to create relationships. It's just when you feel like you're going through the framework of business and follow-up that your ideas fall away from you. Like, well, what should I do and how should I do it? Well, if you're going to create a relationship with someone, you would know what to do, wouldn't you? You would like talk to them. You'd ask them questions. You'd learn more about them. You'd study them. You'd listen. You would note down, like make mental notes of like, oh, they like this, or oh, they don't like that, or oh, that's reminding me of so-and-so. Oh, you know who they should meet? Oh, I have a thing I'd love to share with them. All of that kind of organic getting to know you process that you would use in any area of your life, you're going to bring to your business. And you're going to bring to getting to know these contacts. And it's going to make it so much more effective because it's real. That's why I don't want you doing it with people who you don't really feel a connection with because it feels gross. When you're trying to make a connection with somebody, it isn't real. You don't really want to connect with them. Whether it's connections who can be colleagues, referral partners, or maybe somebody who would come and work for you or you do work for them. Whatever is the thing that you're trying to build here, they're going to be some kind of work friend. And that's the kind of relationship that I want you to create. A person-to-person relationship. So we're doing the personal but not private here. And this is what I love because you're going to be great at this. Getting to know people on a personal level. Well, can I do that with my clients? Yeah. Let's say you work with one of these giant organizations, a Fortune 100 company. It's still people inside of there. And so you know that there's going to be a few particular individuals in there who will hire you, who will run your invoice over to make sure that it gets paid, who will make sure that your name gets submitted when they're assembling professional contacts that we want to bring in and have do work for us. It's individuals in there who will do that. And having a personal connection with them, a personal relationship with them, is where everything gets done. So your intuition about relationship creation is exactly the way you need to be thinking about this. And if you've done follow-up the way that they have advised you to do it and it hasn't worked for you, or you've just found it too hard to keep up with, that's the reason why. I will get criticism about this kind of a casual follow-up system because you can't put 1,000 people through this. Listen, I need a lot of people. I feel a lot of sparks, somebody might say. And I want to put all of them in the system. I can't put 1,000 people through here. Yeah. A CRM system where you meet 1,000 contacts, you scan those business cards and you feed them into this system, and then you follow up with them and you have a webinar for this many of them and you have sales conversations with this many, you convert this many. That's not how this works. This is not a follow-up system for that kind of business. What we're looking to do is have 5 to 10 clients at the base of our pyramid for 50 to 100,000 in revenues per year, all the way up to 250 to $1 million. That base of 5 to 10 clients, you can build that base through this system that we're talking about today, this intuitive, organic follow-up system that's very personal. It's very much about creating personal relationships. So what am I sending to this base of people that I'm creating relationships with? As I get to know them, I'm paying attention to what I talk about, what I ask about that interests them. Because the way you avoid bugging them is 2 things. First of all, you learn what they sincerely want to hear about. So if they're interested in, I'm just taking this from my personal context, the Enneagram. I love the Enneagram. We've connected over the Enneagram, and I'm from time to time sharing Enneagram information and memes and stuff like that with them. Super cool. What if they're not into sports and I'm constantly sending them hey, here's the sports thing. Oh, I love sports, and I'm sending you another sports thing. And they're thinking, she doesn't even know me. So we don't bug people when we understand their interests, and then we can support those interests. I love the pet stuff. I'm constantly sending to my clients and colleagues and connections that I know are also animal people. I'm constantly sending things to them, and they're sending things to me. It's a sincere connection we have over those things. So figure out what those things are for you. And when you're getting to know them and building the relationship with them, you're going to listen for what those things are. So we don't bug them when we send them things that interest them. And also, if I have a sales agenda where I'm I'm going to send 5 pieces of personal content, and then I'm going to send some business stuff, and then I'm going to ask for the sale, they're going to detect that, right? Their BS meter, their sales meter is going to be going off like crazy. And that's when you get into bugging. They're going to feel bugged because you have an agenda. So we have to make sure that we don't have an agenda. How do we do that? You have to trust the timing of this relationship. You have to trust that you're creating a relationship, and when the time is right, this will turn into whatever it's going to be. Oh, but I really want to nudge it along. Okay. If you really want to nudge it along, then you still have to remove the agenda. There's non-attachment about when this will happen. However, I'm going to send stuff that I think is interesting to them. And then from time to time, I'm going to think about their business needs. The things that I've heard them talk about are a challenge for them at work, or something that they're encountering and they have a goal around. And I'm going to send things that are about ways that my business can help them. But with that same open heart and curiosity, I'm going to send it to them. So what's good to send so that people can connect the dots that they can hire you? The best thing of all is case studies. Little success stories or little client stories that say, hey, I had one client who had this challenge, and then I came in and I helped them with this, and as a result, they got this outcome and these benefits. That's a case study. That can be a 1-minute reel or YouTube short or tiny little video that you've made. It can be a little testimonial video. It can be like a 5-page white paper that tells the story of the client transformation. You can share that, and you earn permission to share that because you're not bugging someone, because you're sincerely interested in them and you think, oh, actually, I think this will be relevant, and you send that along. So I want to break down so that you can do these as action steps. You're identifying who are contacts that you actually really sincerely want to keep up with. Not everybody, because that's exhausting. And it's also not true. Who do you really want to keep connected to? With whom do you want to build relationships? So identify them. You can have a list of them somewhere. You can, of course, put them in some kind of CRM. I would connect with them on LinkedIn and similar platforms, but pull that list together and add to it as you meet new and cool people. The second thing, study them, learn about them, take an interest in them so that you know, oh, when so-and-so comes to mind, these three things also come to mind. So, for example, I know Paula, she loves James Clear, she loves podcasts about personal improvement, and she also has a little dog. Love that stuff. I can always connect with her over those things. And I think if things go well over the next couple of months, she might actually call me in to work on a project together. That's the kind of thing that you can aggregate. You can have notes about this, or you can just remember it, like whatever works for you. When I have a very strong personal connection with someone, I don't need to make notes about these things. I just remember it. If I'm wanting to do this on a larger scale, then I'm going to put a calendar reminder for myself. And every Friday, I'm going to check in and I'm going to review my list of people. So that might be the action step you take. The structure of this can be reflect and reach out. I reflect on my list of contacts and I think about them and I go, oh, I haven't been in touch with Sharon in a while. I'm going to reach out. Conversely, it can be, I come across something and I go, oh, amazing. You know who would love this is Sharon. And then I reach out to her. The process and timing of this follow-up is a lot less scientific, but it's more intentional, more energetic, and authentic than the scientific academic system. And now, as I promised, I'm going to share with you a superpower of a question that you can use to expedite the building of a relationship with someone. Years ago, I was at a networking situation and ended up in a one-on-one with someone, and he asked me this question, and it just hit me the right way at the right time. What are you most excited about right now? And I answered it sincerely. It was a very personal, not private, but a very personal answer that I gave him about what I was truly excited about. And immediately, the whole night, we talked about it. We had a great, super close connection. And it became the foundation of a really good business relationship. So I can text him at any time. We're in touch. Just a really, really firm foundation. What I would love for you to have is a question like that, either that one or something similar that is honest and true to you. You really want to hear that information from someone, and you take it in and you use that to form the foundation of the work friendship or business relationship that you then have. If you're looking for a way to create relationships, to fascinate people, and to do follow-up in a way that aligns with your values, then this is the way. It doesn't lack in rigor. What it does is it really tunes you in to your intuitive sense of who is a right fit for you. And it helps you to follow the energy and follow your sincere interest in other people. And that is super powerful and persuasive in building relationships that turn into working relationships that are going to turn into a profitable and joyful consulting business for you. If you're ready to level up your consulting business, head over to samanthahartley.com/super and download one of my free resources. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and click the bell for notifications. And here are a couple of related episodes that will help you to build an even more profitable, joyful consulting business.